日本時間10日、ドジャースの佐々木朗希は本拠地で行われたフィリーズとの地区シリーズ第4戦に8回から登板し、3イニング連続で三者凡退に抑える圧巻の投球を見せました。試合後、MLB 公式 X、旧 Twitter は、ナ・リーグ地区シリーズのローキ・ササキは圧倒的だったとのコメントを添えて、佐々木の成績をまとめた特別画像を投稿。画像には MVP パフォーマンスの文字も記され、MVP 級の活躍だったと称えました。アメリカの番組でも、ドジャースの問題を一夜にして解決した。今季見た中でも最も驚くべき出来事の一つだ、といった称賛の声が相次ぎました。さらに FOX スポーツのレジェンド解説陣も、現時点でドジャースが世界最強のチームであることを認め、頂点を目指す他チームはドジャースを倒さない限り前に進めないとコメント。デビッド・オルティスは、あの攻撃の怪物が目を覚ましたら、
Trey, there's so many things that go through your mind when you watch that last play from Orion Kerkering. Obviously, you know, a little panic at the end there, but it's a tough way to end a series from a guy who was a good fielder, played that position. Tell me through the play and what happened there.
Well, you're so focused and hyper locked in of getting the batter out, you didn't realize that you still have to field your position and play clean baseball. All of a sudden, the ball's off the bat, and he gets short hop and he gets called. Right when that ball hits that ground, a shot of adrenaline goes in you because all you're thinking about now is picking up that ball and getting rid of it. He didn't know where he was on the field, so all of a sudden his head comes up, so he's not seeing JT Realmuto screaming and not hearing go to one. Yes, everyone talks about he had enough time, but you're not thinking about that, and you're not hearing that. All you're hearing is the roar of the stadium because they all realize, oh no, he's fumbling the baseball. Once his head came up, he tried to make a quick throw, got on side of the baseball, and that ball was 2 feet past JT Realmuto before he put his head down because he realized at the release point, that ball wasn't going to make it. Game over, season over, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like he panicked, right? You know, it's you hit him that ball 100 times, 99 times he picks it up and throws it to first base. Just there's a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline. You feel bad because, you know, a lot of people will blame him for that series. That's not the case. That's not fair. That's not the reason why they lost. But when you see in these postseason games, teams that make mistakes, the good teams capitalize on them.
Yeah, and the Dodgers always capitalize. They seem to be the team that never makes mistakes. And by the way, it was really classy afterward of the players and Rob Thompson kind of embracing Orion there and being like, hey, it's not you. Like, I thought that was awesome. But let's talk about these Dodgers. I want to piggyback off of what Derek said. They seem to make all the plays. Right? I mean, they seem to make the key defensive plays, take that extra base all the time. Well, how do they keep doing it?
The Dodgers are back being the LA Dodgers, simply the best team in baseball. And look, they're the opposite of a one-trick pony, right? They can beat you any way you want. They can slug Poppy, they can pitch, they can defend, they can clutch hit. And one thing they never, ever, ever do is beat themselves. They never beat themselves. Look, Philly imploded and the Yankees imploded by making not making the plays. That's something they never do. And for all those home run lovers out there and home run chasers, they beat the Phillies with only hitting 2 home runs in 4 games, and they're moving on.
The Dodgers is an organization that they get prepared for this type of situation. If you look all the way through their lineup, their pitching staff, even their coaching staff, they get prepared for this situation. That's why they are so hard to beat. And then think about this. Offensively, their monster, Otani, he's sleeping. He haven't wake up yet, and they are whooping everybody. When this guy get hot, people don't try that at home.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
You know, this was a battle of the Titans, right? You almost feel like you got robbed because that, 5 game, best of 5, they're both so good. I know the Dodgers are the defending champs, but is there a little bit of, okay, we took care of maybe the second best team. Is there a little bit of you got to be careful not to let down?
No, that's why they're well coached and they're well managed. Experience. Just like you guys were in the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. They're not going to sleep. They're not going to make a mistake. They're going to continue to stay hungry. They want to repeat. And now there's scary hours. Freddie didn't check in and Shohei didn't check in, and they got past the Phillies. Now their rotation is healthy. Their rotation was not healthy, and they won a World Series last year. They understand that they're the weapons, and any road has to come through Chavez Ravine. And so I think getting over this helps, but at the same time, they're still hungry in that locker room.
Bryce had a great first game here. That ball last night in a different atmosphere might go out of the ballpark. he's not far away from. It's a 4-game thing. That's in baseball. I mean, look at Ohtani, right? Like one of the greatest, maybe the MVP, right? And look what he's doing. So it's like it's tough to be critical. We believe in Bryce and we believe in our players, but we'll go through thick and thin with them. And that means ups and downs. So
it was Roki Sasaki has been an incredible revelation and has saved the Dodgers' ass. Is that fair to say?
Oh, 100%. You can actually trust him out of the bullpen. He went 3 innings? He went
3 innings yesterday.
I saw a stat that he's faced 12 batters, 12 Philly batters, and got 12 outs.
Yeah, wow.
So, Cappy, the reason I only slept like 3 or 4 hours because I got up, I wanted to rewatch the entire game in its entirety. I did not want to skip a moment. I didn't want to fast track it in the 25-minute Google edition or whatever. I wanted to watch the entire thing. And to your point, Greg, when I watched Sasaki, he dominated, man. Like his fastball, he was attacking hitters. He had guys off balance. He was hitting 100. Like he was in a freaking groove, man.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable to watch.
And he was locked in too, because when he would go back to the dugout, rather than a guy like putting on a jacket, taking off a glove, having a glass of water or anything, my man kept his glove on and he was just sitting there like, all right, let's go. Come on, man, hurry up. Let's go. Get me back out there. I am locked in, and I don't want to have my blood pressure come down at all. Like, I want to stay in the zone. It was pretty amazing.
Return from the IL, he has pitched, I want to make sure I have this right, 7 1/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, no walks. I mean, he's getting swings and misses. As I mentioned, hitters are off balance. Like, he's pounding the zone. Like, this kid is – I mean, remember at the beginning of the season how, like, we were all like, ooh, is this even going to work out?
Right.
Like, are they going to have this? Like, what's going to happen with this
kid? Think about how long he's been gone. You know what I mean? Right? I mean, to start the season off, like you're pointing out, where it wasn't very good and it wasn't very impressive, then to be gone practically the entire season and then do this rehab start, and then you're like, okay, well, we desperately need help out of the bullpen, and this kid's like, I'll do it, man. And then, because he's really a starter and you could get 3 innings out of him yesterday, it's quite the story.
So when the last time we saw him before he went on the IL, he was crying in the dugout because he had such a bad appearance. Like that was our last memory of him before he came back. Right. And for what he did, it was
right, because he's 23 and he's a child too, by the way.
Well, yeah, and Sedano, you said it. He had 0 walks. That's the first guy to come out of that pen that actually does not walk anybody. Everybody in that bullpen, that was a huge problem. Walks, couldn't throw a strike, couldn't find the plate. And then he comes in throwing 100 miles dotted on a corner. It just changes everything.
Hey,
he's
listen,
dots. He's dotting.
Listen,
that's part of it. The Dodgers, we asked at the beginning of the playoffs, do you think Roki could go multiple innings?
Ooh.
Well, boy, did he do it. 3 perfect innings. In fact, he now has gone 5 1/3 in the playoffs, given up 1 hit, struck out 5. I loved it because in between innings, he was like the anxious little leaguer who was still wearing his glove. He couldn't sit down, couldn't take a breath. He was standing there holding his mitt. I'm sure the Phillies were like, when's this MFer going to get out of the game? Because we can't do anything with him. You talk about solving a problem overnight.
You know, when we were talking about what's the solution for the Dodgers bullpen, and I was talking about Ohtani, Sasaki wasn't back yet, and they just decided, hey, that's a much better option. Let's have Ohtani be the starter, and this guy has answered the bell and has just been incredible. And guess what he got, though, tonight? Clean innings. I think that's and maybe now that he's done it a few times, you don't got to try to get him that anymore. Maybe you can bring him in some tighter spots when you need to get out of a pinch because he's proven himself and probably has a lot of confidence now coming out of the bullpen. He's done it a few times now, so the routine feels a little bit easier for him. But you're right. They've found a guy. I mean, to have a back-end guy, high-leverage back-end guy that can give you 3 innings is the ultimate playoff weapon. There's not like even a if you could tell me I'll give you a starter who's going to go give you 6 great innings, or you say you can have a lockdown reliever that's going to give you 3. I'm taking the reliever every single time.
Yeah. Now, like I said, he went 9 for 9. I mean, there wasn't a blemish there. If he walks a guy, somebody gets a knock, a couple guys on, then he's not going to give you 3 innings. But as of right now, nobody's putting together consistent at-bats against the dude. And I have to be honest with you, I think it's one of the most shocking things that we've seen this season. Not because he doesn't have the talent, but, we talked about it. He's a kid that was 23 when he got over here. We've talked about how difficult it can be to make the adjustment. He was getting knocked around early on. We hadn't seen him since from the middle of May until late September, except for some social media clips of him down in the minor leagues. And there was no way that we thought that it was even a possibility. We were like, put him on the playoff roster? Like, are you nuts? They've got enough issues back there. Now you're going to try and take a guy who was a starter that wasn't super successful the first 5 weeks of the year anyway. Like, there's no way. And now he has become their biggest pen weapon. I don't think we're making a big enough deal about it.
I think we talk about him quite a bit. He's pretty good. Did a great job tonight. Yeah,
you're not surprised?
Yeah. Am I surprised he's been this good? For some reason, I'm not. But maybe you're right. Maybe we should be thinking about this. I think because he's on the Dodgers, and when he first came over, everyone's initial thought was they're getting him for the minimum. This is a cheat code. We saw all the stats over there in Japan, and we just assumed because he's a Dodger, he's going to be great, but he's still a human, and he had a really weird first season, and he's doing this at the highest leverage time of the year in a new spot. So yeah, I agree. Maybe we should be making a little bit more noise about it.